Hello guys, welcome to my channel and to another Upcrate unboxing video. Upcrate has launched their new design and I think it's super cute, especially the little eyes on the side. And I can wait to have a look inside of the April 2022 box. So let's go. And we have probably the biggest edding marker I have ever seen. Wow, okay. It's super heavy. It's a 3D double liner for unique effects. And you can squeeze it, apparently. Okay, I have never seen a marker like this, but we have apparently a broad tip, which is just open at the end. So you can squeeze the paint out directly. And on the other side we have a rather fine tip. And what's the color name? It looks like some kind of vanilla. It's pastel yellow and has medium opacity. And then we have another acrylic marker. So this one is black and it has the biggest and most impressive tip ever. It's about the size of my pinky. Then we have two smaller acrylic markers, one in pastel green and one in opulent turquoise. So this one has a bullet nib, which is 2 to 3 millimeters wide, just as well as this one. By the way, this one is 5 to 10 millimeters, and this one is on the smaller side, 2 to 3 millimeters, and 5 to 10 millimeters on the wider side. So then we have the two smallest acrylic markers in neon pink and traffic white, and these are 1 to 2 millimeters wide and also have a bullet nib. And last but not least we have a Viking pencil. So next up we have the bottle post, which is nice and thick again. Some super colorful stickers. And what's this? A little poster by the co-captain. And we have an acrylic and oil artist pad. So I'm very interested to see if this is rather smooth or has a canvas texture. Let's have a look inside. And it has a canvas structure. We have 8 sheets, so that's great. And the box is empty. As I just saw, here are little designs you can actually pop out. By the way, the topic for the Upcrate battle is come together. Now we will quickly test out all the markers. I've already pumped them, so they are ready to go. Let's see what the colors look like. So far these colors are really nice, and you can see that these two are definitely less opaque than this one. And I think this one is light opacity and this one mid opacity. And I'm not sure about this one. I would say it's high opacity. I'll have a look at the marker. Yes, this one was actually opaque. So I think they're dry now. So I can apply a little bit of white. So you can actually see the white on top of the other colors, but it's not very opaque. It's actually medium opacity. Now let's have a look at the big black marker. Wow. The black marker is super juicy, so I like that. And it's 100% opaque. And last but not least, the acrylic marker with the special tips. So let's see how 3D we can get. That's actually pretty satisfying. So that's the small tip, and now let's have a look at the wide tip. Okay, it's not that easy to get a straight line. Maybe I just have to get a better feel for it. Or just smudge it a little. So you get a really nice 3D texture, and at the moment it's quite nice to work with this marker. However, I wonder if it gets a little annoying when it's like half empty because you have to squeeze more, or if it just stays as convenient as it is. So I'm very curious to find that out in the future. And last but not least, the pencil. It always feels a little rough when working with a pencil on canvas paper, so that's not my favorite combination, but as a base, this will work absolutely fine, I guess. This time I really had problems coming up with an idea because the vibrant color theme is definitely out of my comfort zone, and in combination with the topic come together, plus the fact that you are supposed to use 4 sheets of paper, took me a few days until I finally got an idea. If you struggle with finding ideas, I highly recommend the good old brainstorming method. When thinking about a topic, just write everything down without judging if it's a good idea or not. You don't have to come up with a good idea straight away. Give yourself a little time to think about your associations, and if you feel like you really like one idea or repeatedly find yourself thinking about one, maybe that's the way to go. I brainstormed some interpretations for Come Together and thought about people coming together for the holidays, people coming together for dinner or parties, for example. I then came up with jigsaw puzzles because little pieces come together to create something big, and I kept thinking about it, liked it, and decided to make 4 big puzzle pieces out of the sheets of paper. I'm not quite sure if I'm breaking the rules here by using an X-Acto knife and tape, but whatever, I liked the idea. However, I still had to decide what to paint, and the color theme of the markers, or rather the combination of different colors and pitch black, reminded me of the work of Andy Warhol. Especially his screen printing portraits where the shadow areas are all black on a colored background. So I decided to go for a portrait too and chose Warhol himself. But before painting or drawing the actual portrait, I had to figure out a background, and here again I didn't really have a specific idea in mind, and then just started applying color without having an idea. Deliberately deciding to work without any expectations like, it has to look like this, I want some mountains here and flowers there, took so much pressure off me. I let go of all expectations and just started scribbling color onto the puzzle pieces and blended them here and there, and did this until all 4 pages were covered in paint. While working on the background, I noticed that some of the markers were juicier than others. No matter how often I pumped them, but overall they were great, can't complain. I was trying to blend the paint with a paintbrush, and this was a little difficult because the markers dry really quickly. So at some point I started working with both hands, which kind of worked well. After finishing the background, I prepared a reference photo in Photoshop where I used color separation to get solid black shadow areas, which I then transferred to my puzzle pieces. I talk about this method in another video, so if you want to know more about that, I'll put a link to it in the description box. Coloring the areas was actually a little more difficult than I had thought because the nib of the black marker was great for filling in the broad areas, but it was a little fiddly to paint all these little details on the edges. I used the very tip of the nib, but it started fraying a little bit after a while, so that definitely did not make it any easier. Using the small markers for big areas and the big marker for details was not my best idea, I would say, but in the end it all worked out. In general, acrylic markers are not my preferred medium, but they definitely come in handy sometimes. This is my finished drawing or jigsaw puzzle, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye!